Welcome student to the series of lecture on fixed income. And in the series of lecture of fixed income, I want to be too precise because I'm introducing a very complex discussion that is on convexity adjustment. See, generally it is not right to introduce convexity adjustment without giving an proper discussion on convexity itself. But because we have discussed some very interesting points in the last few sessions, so therefore, what we are trying to do, based on whatever we have discussed in the previous sessions, will build the concept of convexity adjustment. So, what we are trying to introduce in the session, trying to introduce convexity adjustment in the session. So, till now, what we have understood these two most important points for today's session. First, duration is the slope of the price yield curve. This is the price yield curve. And for a given interest rate, if you make a tangent or if you make a slope, that is duration. So this is duration. This is duration. What is the issue with duration? The issue with duration is duration does not do a good job in predicting the bond prices for large change in the interest rate. Okay. So with these two important points, we'll build the concept of convexity adjustment. Okay, we discussed, okay, duration is the slope of the price yield curve. This is duration. This is duration. This is the slope of the price yield curve. And we also discussed if you try to value a bond with the help of duration, then you will always fall on this line. You will always fall on this line. Let's understand it graphically before entering into numericals. So, for example, you calculated the duration for 7%. This is the duration. The slope of the price yield curve is the duration. Now, what you did, you changed the interest rate to say 11%. At 11%, if you put down the different characteristics of the bond in BA2 plus calculator, say FB1000, coupon 6%, frequency annual, maturity 3 year, then you will find the true value of the bond, which will lie on this price yield curve. Price yield curve will give you always the true value of the bond. What? The true value of the bond. So this point is the true value of the bond. And if you try to value this bond with the help of duration, then this is the point where you lie because that is duration. This tangent, this slope to 7% at 7% to the curve is duration. So duration will give you the price of the duration or by the duration, which is the straight line. So this is the price with the help of duration. So if you do the prediction of the bond price with the help of duration, you will fall here. If you do the valuation of the bond with the help of BA2 plus calculator or full revaluation, you will fall here. So see, this is the difference. This is the difference. Even if the interest rate falls, say falls and go to the level of 3%, then if you try to price the bond with the help of duration, then you will fall on this line. And if you do the true valuation with the help of BA2 plus calculator or Excel or whatever, as in proper discounting, so this might be the price yield curve. This would be the true value. This would be the true value of the bond for fall in the interest rate from 7% to 3%. See the gap. This is the gap. It means that duration is going to always over predict the bond price or under predict the bond price. Think about it. Duration will always under predict the bond price, under predict the bond price. If you're trying to value the bond price with the help of duration. So that's what is written. If you do full revaluation, if you do full revaluation and try to find bond price, it will always be greater because you will be on the curve. It will always be get greater. It will always be greater than price that you predicted from duration because you will fall on the line. There is always a difference. There is a gap. And bond price from the full revaluation will always be greater than, or the true value of the bond will always be greater than the price of the bond that you predicted with the help of duration. If you want to reach to this curve, You always have to add something. You always have to add something. So that's what I have written. I have written the true value of the bond is equal to price of the bond plus something, not subtracting something, because price from the duration, price from the duration always underpredict the actual price. It always underpredict. So you have to add something to reach to the curve. You have to add something to reach to the curve. So you're adding something to reach to the curve. So you're adjusting something, and that adjustment is called as convexity adjustment. That adjustment is called as convexity adjustment. And the formula for convexity adjustment is half C del y square. Half is a constant. Del y is what? Change in interest rate. You can write it del y or del I. It is up to you. But what is C? C is convexity. What is convexity? That is what we have to discuss in upcoming session. And that's why this session is very crisp. So you might think why we are talking about convexity. We are talking about convexity because, or we are talking about the numerical or derivation or the formula of convexity because if you want to find the value of the bond with the help of duration, you have to add something always. And what you add is called as convexity adjustment. And that comes from convexity. You already know half is a constant and del I square is what? The change in interest rate. But what is this convexity? You need to derive it. You need to learn it. And that is the introduction in this session. What is this session all about? This session is about introducing convexity in your life. Okay. So I'm recapping again that this black curve is the price yield curve, which is actual relationship between the price of the bond or interest rate. Or you can say each point in this price yield curve represent the true value of the bond. Red line, linear approximation, slope of the price yield curve at a point, slope of the price yield curve at a point. You always have to add something. You always have to add something to reach to the true value of the bond if you're trying to predict the bond price with the help of duration. And that adjustment is called as convexity adjustment. And the formula for convexity adjustment is half C del y square. Why it is half C del y square, we'll talk about it. And what is this C stands for? Okay. With that, I'll pause here. Thank you. Have a nice day.